Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. So I forgot I set the alarm. Opened the door this morning to take the dog out, and the alarm was like, meow, meow, kids screaming. I was like, oh my God, too early for this mess. And it's like a typhoon in Birmingham, so that's always fun. So when I was young, there was a video that came out about children in Africa. This was the first time in the 80s when Americans really started to see what the situation was in Africa, at least that I could remember. There was one of those, like, if you donate 99 cents a day, you can help a child, whatever. And my mother started using the phrase starving kids in Africa for any time that I ever felt slighted in my life or disappointed about anything. So I became conditioned to believe that my disappointments were never valid because there was always somebody who had it worse than me. Now I understand. She was trying to provide perspective to a child who nobody had ever taken the time to teach me what perspective was. So all I learned was, Jamie, you don't get to talk about how upset you are about X, Y, and Z because there are starving kids in Africa. Well, right. I clearly have it better than they do, so how can I ever feel bad about anything in my life? This is not a healthy thing. Being disappointed and being unhappy about things in your life are real emotions. As insignificant as they may be to the person sitting next to you, they are real. You don't have to trump one sadness with your own. You don't have to belittle someone's disappointment with reminding them how bad your life is going. It is not tit for tat. And it certainly is not fair to umbrella people's struggles in life under what I now call starving kids in Africa, like, perspective. Because one of the tools I did not ever develop was processing pain properly. I never developed it. When I felt pain as a kid, it was always dismissed. I was the third out of four, whatever. I love my mom. My mom did the best job she could in the 80s. Like, love her. I'm just talking about what I had to deal with. I never learned how to process pain. Nobody ever talked to me about what I was feeling. Nobody ever let me know it was normal to feel the way I was feeling. And then when my dad died, I had already learned how to numb all those feelings with drugs and alcohol. So why would I ever try to deal with the pain? Why would I ever try to heal myself or deal when I was numb? And hurting other people made me feel better. So what was the point of learning a new skill? They say you can't teach old dogs new tricks. That's not true. We just become very comfortable in the tricks we teach ourselves. Anyway, there are two types of people that like to do this. So one is really, I believe, comes to us with the best intentions. I myself have done it and self-correct. My girlfriend's husband is very sick. And when he first got very sick, I think I said something like, I just thank God it's not one of your kids. And she was like, oh my God, obviously. Oh my, I can't even. I wasn't trying to diminish what she was going through with her husband. I think I thought I was helping. I was somehow saying it could be worse, but I quickly realized that somehow diminishes the pain she's in with her husband, as if she's not allowed, like, oh, but at least it's not my kid, so I'll deal with my husband, but it's not my kids. No. What you are dealing with your husband is excruciating. And I am sorry that I compared it to, God forbid, what kind of pain you would be in if it was one of your children. What is wrong with me? Let me help you get through this together, because I can't even imagine what it is like to watch the man you love suffer. Let's deal with what it is. We become uncomfortable with other people's pain, so we try to dismiss it. We try to find a way to put it in perspective. Could always be worse. No, let's deal with what we're dealing with. The other kind of people that do that are really very self-serving. They don't mean to be, but they're in their own pain. So they always have to try to bring it around to their own suffering. So you say, Michael and I are going through a really hard time right now. And they say, at least you have a husband. I was in a 17-year abusive relationship. And you're like, oh, okay. Sorry I said anything. You're right. That is not productive. That is basically the starving kids in Africa thing that shut me down completely. So when you are dealing with people in your life that you love, that you genuinely want to be there for, try to avoid those two types of dismisses when they come to you and tell you that they are dealing with pain or disappointment or heartache or sadness or whatever. I know that we want to make it better and sometimes we don't know how, but reminding them that it could always be worse is not as healthy as helping them see that it can get better. See the difference? And if you are somebody carrying your own pain, try hard not to project that on others when they come to you for help. I know some days you want to go, oh, don't cry to me about your crappy job. I've been out of work for 4 years. Or don't cry to me that you're so overwhelmed with 3 kids. I have infertility and I can't have any. I know those days. I know I have sat there while friends have been like, oh, my father's so annoying. I think to myself, is he now? Is he so annoying? But I don't do it anymore. I used to immediately go, do you know what I would give for 1 minute with my father? But what does that do? It then makes the conversation so uncomfortable and makes the person feel so guilty. And I don't want to diminish other people's pain. If they are trusting me enough to come to me with their whatever, I want to add value to that. So remember, when you are tempted to remind someone it could always be worse, instead be the light that helps them see it can get better. It's hump day. Halfway there, folks. I love you so much today. Have a great day.